Welcome to Schwananigans episode 10, which is about the Simcoe Street United Church as well as the Backdoor Mission. And before we get into the Backdoor Mission, which is a great service here in Oshawa, I just want to give a brief history about the Simcoe Street United Church. It is a great building, and I'll be showing photos of it throughout this introduction. It started out as a wooden building in 1867 known as the Simcoe Street Methodist Church. As sermons and services grew in popularity, they got overcrowded and services had to be performed at Dr. Thornton Church across the street. There just simply wasn't enough room, and that's why they decided to build a bigger church. The cornerstone was laid in 1867 and completed in May of 1868. The Simcoe Street Methodist Church was designed by architects Thomas Gundry and Henry Langley. They were known for their Gothic Revival style because the Simcoe Street United Church is in Gothic Revival style. You may notice that it also looks very similar, but a smaller version of St. Basil's Church in Toronto. At least I thought so when I looked at the pictures, but I felt there were similarities. So between 1911 and 1915, the church was renovated. Renovations including a new heating system. They enlarged the choir area. They added new pews put in for the choir and a few extra rows, I believe, for people to sit in. They also put in a new Sunday school building. And within the choir loft, I think that's when they installed the Cassavant organ, which is still there, by the way. I'm not too sure if it's the original Cassavant organ, but for sure there is an organ there. So while this church has a history of many uses, such as local gatherings, made some cameos in some film, some television, and some media, it's now used for the Backdoor Mission. And we're going to get into that right now. Please see in the description below, we did put all the links so that way you can look through them as well. All right, cue the intro. Welcome back to Schwananigans. Welcome back, Shelley. Shelley, you've been working hard all week.
Yep, gotta make the money.
That's right.
Yep.
And so we're here at the Simcoe United Church in downtown Oshawa. What originally started was me wanting to take a tour of the church, and we weren't sure who was in charge of it. So what we found out is actually the Backdoor Mission is in this church. So we're going to go check it out and see what it's all about. What do you think, Shelley?
Sounds good because I have no clues.
All right, let's learn all about it. We're here with Nathan. And Nathan, what is the Backdoor Mission?
So the Backdoor Mission, actually, it started as a volunteer program, not just the United Church, but a number of churches in downtown Oshawa, as a response to a growing need of poverty and homelessness. That was in 1997. It has grown quite a bit since then. We became an incorporated nonprofit in 2014, and still considered a partnership with the United Church of Canada. Provide services, how I always have, respite, meals, and core need services to a homeless population and those in poverty in Oshawa. In 2020, at the onset of the pandemic, we helped create and facilitate what's now known as the Mission United Hub. And that is a collection of different service partners, all types of agencies, healthcare, financial support, mental health crisis, addiction support, housing, all located in under one roof, which is the Backdoor Mission, of course. And today, we see about 200 people a day coming through our doors that are seeking service. It is crazy.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah,
It's definitely something that's needed.
So every day, when our patrons come to the mission, they go through a pretty standard process. There might be a number of different things that they come in. They come in for. So they'll come through these doors, and the first thing they do is get screened in. They get their name on lists. They get asked what it is here for. Some people, for the most part, they just come. You can see here, a meal. This is where we have our dining area every day. So about 150 meals are served every single day here at the mission. This is actually just, you're here right at the end of the day. So the evening crew is going to get into cleaning it all up and getting prepared for tomorrow. Well, it's a very busy day today. But every single person, if you can see sort of in the corner over there, they will go to a coat check process, and they'll have all their belongings put into bins. Those bins will be stored for the day, and then they'll get on to wherever it is. So usually for most people, first stop is a meal, and then it's on to the services that they might be seeking.
All right. So one of the services is we're just going to walk into the sanctuary right now, which is the church portion of the Simcoe United Church. Shelley asked if the organ there, I still see the pipes are set up. Does the organ work?
Yes, the organ absolutely works. Actually, it is utilized while the congregation no longer takes part here in Sunday services. We do have our annual Christmas concert, which is run by the professors of funk, and they utilize the organ every year. So probably in a couple weeks from now, somebody will come in and clean it and test it and get it all tuned up. And then on December 17th and 18th of this year, there will be a pretty big concert, and this place will be packed with people, and the organ will be certainly utilized for sure.
Right on.
So in this space, there's a number of different uses here. It really started as what we call an out of the cold program. So basically just during the winter months, individuals could come in and sit down and just get out of the cold. That's all it was. It's evolved since then. Now it serves as a waiting area for the clinic and for Ontario Works, which is also located in here. Aside from that, we've started to add in a few social aspects. So you can see here, this is just a remnants of the day, but you'll see a few coloring books and activity things. There's television over here that people come and watch. You can also come in just to get a rest. But we also have a number of services that are provided throughout the week. So in the corner there, in those chairs, we will have one of our support workers, teams from John Howard Society, Vinewood Addictions, as well as Brain Injury Association of Durham, and a few others. They frequent here, and while people are in the sanctuary, they'll see clients, they'll offer support, and they'll navigate services at the same time. Additionally, we've just started this past fall really increasing our community programs. So in the afternoon, tables will kind of be jimmying around a little bit, and one of our programs can take place here. A few of them do. There's men's group. We're going to be starting a women's group in the winter. We also have an addictions recovery group. We have a housing group. And then a few others that don't take place in the sanctuary, like the cooking group, sound therapy, and we're going to be starting yoga as well. So this went from really not much each day on a day-to-day basis to something that was just utilized in the winter to now every day there are people, and that's relatively new. More and more individuals are actually utilizing this space. It's really important because it is somewhere that it helps foster and create community for the individuals. They take part in things, whether they're social or educational or service-based. It also is a safe space for people. So rather than on the street or anywhere else, even if it's just to be for a few hours or a while, we try to integrate them into services and programs, or while they're here, it is a very safe space for them. And
I just wanted to say that it does feel very warm, very inviting in here, and it's somber, relaxing, kind of. So I could see it being called a sanctuary. And here even Shelley is taking a break because she's worked hard. Is there anything else that you want to add about the sanctuary?
Well, we hope to have some real extended use in the near future. We've had a couple things take part here, sort of extracurricular to the mission. We had a speaker series that took place about a year ago. That was really great. It was basically a lecture series where the members of the community come and learn about different topics. I think we've had a couple of different meetings or announcements that take place here. And it really is an opportunity. This space, as our artists, friends who come here, the acoustics are incredible. It's a really great venue. It's a great space, not just to have a show or a conference or whatever it might be, but it's also a space that can really provide an opening sense of community. So we don't want it to be just another place where people can come and have a service or event. And we're not quite there yet, but it's somewhere that is really focused on ingraining our population, our people, into the programs and the events that we do. I think if you look around and if you stand here, the potential for this space is just so massive. The The capacity is well over 600, and we really just hope that this is a space that we can continue on the values and the tradition that the United Church has built over 150 years. That's really what our hope is to do.
Gonna get a shot at that stained window because it's really cool.
Right. During the day, and we operate between 9 and 4, or 4:30, I should say. During the day, starting at 10 o'clock, patrons can access a safe sleep area. Now, there's a few reasons for that. We really believe that, for individuals to take advantage of the services that they need, you need to be in the right cognitive or mental state, and that's kind of hard to do if you haven't slept. So, whether or not they spent the night in a shelter or outside, really anywhere, this just provides a space that they can get that much needed rest in a safe environment during the day. We can house up to 15 during the day. It also, in the years that we do it, it can serve as an overnight program for those during the winter. It is not a year-round overnight shelter in any way. Just utilize permanent a safe sleep space. But the great thing about that is if you look at these two desks here, they are occupied by a crisis case manager from Government Health Services and often by a housing support worker from CDC. And so when somebody comes in here, they may be coming in for sleep, but they also have the opportunity to access the region's by name list, get on a house, which is a housing support list. They also, if they're in crisis and need immediate support, we have that through the crisis worker. And the really cool thing is, I'll just show you if you walk. We have one of these. So this is a soundproof pod. So completely glass. So it provides not only a private space, but a very safe space. So if you think anybody in an organization has to have a private conversation, especially one of these two, they can do so in here while them and their partner can see each other, totally safe and totally private at the same time. So we're really, really fortunate to have this as a part of this program.
That's fantastic. We're just coming through to the pantry. And just one thing I want to point out as it is winter, how important these little hotties are. They're little hot packets that people can put in their pocket and keep warm. Very important item for donation, just to keep in mind. And so now we're going to check out this pantry. I'll give it over to Nathan.
Thank you very much. So this is our kitchen storage pantry. We have two different components to the food and donation program. This one is for our daily meals. So one of the things that we're extremely proud of, we put out 150 fresh meals every day that will include a protein, a carb or starch, a fruit or vegetable, and usually a dessert. And it's almost 100% based on donations. So we really rely on Feed the Need, as well as a number of other grocery stores and community donations to make sure that we have enough ingredients. And we have one food service coordinator who's amazing, but it is all a team of volunteers. So 150 meals a day, 5 days a week. It is volunteers coming up with the menus, doing all the cooking, working with that one individual, put on something that I don't know how they do it. It's really incredible. We also have on the other side of the building clothing and an outgoing food pantry. So for that, that's more day-to-day stuff. And for our population, it's usually juice, Gatorade, cereal, canned meats, not your traditional, peas and frozen things. But that is on a day-to-day basis. And of course, in the winter, it's a lot of clothing. It's a lot of winter clothing, jackets, boots, pants. We always need pants and shoes. And socks, yeah, we have a ton of socks coming from a number of different programs, and we're giving them out on a daily basis. And that's very seasonal. So sometimes if a lot of people give a bag of donated clothing, it's great. But if not in season, it takes up a lot of space. So I always ask, if you're going to donate somewhere, make sure you call the place. And that goes for any donation program. And ask what the needs are. Because chances are not only, hey, that's great, we might not have a lot of it, but there's also probably another place that's very appropriate that can use that, and vice versa. So the items that we need, we go through a lot of very quickly, and the ones that we don't, we try to divert to usually mission thrift stores or other places that need them as well. So yeah, it is all almost entirely volunteer run, and I'll walk you over here if you can keep up.
Sure.
So right on the other side are the fridge and the freezers, and again, basically, the team will just take in all of the donated items that comes in a couple of days a week, and then they'll just come up with menus all at once. And then the pantry is not open every day. It is usually 3 times a week. But any donations that people can think of, it's very much appreciated. And we do appreciate, of course, monetary donations as well. That allows our team to kind of choose, takes a little bit of pressure off them. And the other thing that helps a lot are gift cards. And so traditionally, you might think gift cards can go directly to clients, but in our case, grocery store gift cards, so Walmart or any type of grocery store, we use it for this as well. Big items. We do daily coffee, so coffee and sugar and milk. Those are things that we're running through all the time. Those are huge items that we can really use some support. But yeah, no matter what comes in, our team does an amazing job of putting something in.
This concludes our tour. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but some movies were filmed here. It's quite possible that Brendan Fraser may have been right here. So if you want any incentive to maybe come volunteer, you could possibly be standing where Brendan Fraser was standing. Pretty good incentive. That was a long one, but no, seriously, no. Okay. Volunteer because it's good to volunteer
It's good
and
for your
it's good
soul.
to do community work.
If people want to donate, how can they donate? What should they be donating?
We know
What don't you get a lot
seasonal,
of, you know? You know what I
um,
mean? Like
Mhm.
people always are giving like cereal, but they don't have anywhere to keep milk. So
yeah.
what are things that you don't get that you absolutely need?
So this season, or really any time of year, the mission is in need of a lot of different items of support. The thing that we always need a lot of, as I mentioned, is coffee. We go through 150, 200 cups of coffee a day because there's a lot of people that are spending time here, and it's not something that people normally think of. We use granulated coffees, sugar, coffee, milk. Those are definitely things that we need. All pillows and blankets are something that our clients use, not just to take away, but we use here as well as part of the services. So those are important. It's usually best to stick to the staples. People might not know it, but really what happens is there are a few items that we go through really, really quickly. And so that a lot of the time is cereal, snacks, granola bars, drinks such as juice or Gatorade. Those are really important to always have on. It's always going to be the biggest need. So if we can find a way to get meat and protein, that is what our team is just always looking for on a regular basis. They do a great job of turning whatever kind of meat you donate into incredible meals, but it is definitely, in terms of food and items, it is the best donation we can get. Now, the two things that top any donation, sure, of course, are monetary. We are a charity, so anytime we have money donations, we can use it in different ways. Aside from our services, core services and meals, we can find different ways to support clients. Even like our community program, we have a lot of different ways to put money into that, and just our building capacity. But probably the best thing people can donate is volunteering here at the mission is a really, really important step. We rely on volunteers more than most organizations. The staff, this place, it's actually a pretty small team. It's 10 full-time staff, but we really rely on about 15 to 20 volunteers every day to actually make the place run. A lot of the stations that we went through, they are volunteer-led and volunteer-run. So whether that be a day, one day a week, or a morning or an afternoon, we really rely on ongoing support from volunteers, and that takes part, when we have events, charitable events that happen. Well, whatever kind of makes the most sense for you, we're happy to have volunteers come here and be support. The last thing you can give is a good word. And you really have no idea how far that goes. People speak well of the mission, they speak up, and any charity, really, it helps builds our capacity and reputation. When speaking of the mission, speak well, think of us, and recommend it, because it is a place that just tries to help people as much as possible. And we have big plans for the future, and we have big needs for the present. So speaking well is a one way, without money or time or really anything, that supports us more than you might think.
So we're doing good.
I just want to thank you so much for taking the time. And I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you so much for having me, committing to Oshawa. I mean, we really value ourselves as a part of downtown. If you'd like to learn more, it's backdoormission.ca, or you can email us at info@backdoormission.ca. That's where to find most of our information. And then always look us up on socials on Facebook. I'm pretty active on that as well.